Good morning. I would like to welcome everybody to the County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency Board of Directors meeting. We're at the BWB Building, 201 West 3rd Street, Jamestown, New York. We're also streaming live via YouTube and Zoom. It's May the 21st at 10:37. We'll go ahead and start with roll call. Gary Henry's here. Brad Walters.
Here.
Sagan Sheffield Smith.
Here.
Stephen Thorpe.
Here.
Daniel Demart.
Here.
Kevin Muldowney. Amy Harding.
Here.
Thank you. You should have already received the minutes from the April 23rd meeting and had a chance to review those. Do we have a motion to accept those minutes? Thank you, Steve. Do we have a second?
A second here.
Thank you, Sagan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The minutes have been approved. We'll move into new business A, Dunkirk Metal Products of Western New York, presented by Christine.
Mr. Chairman, Jeanette, would you please allow our guests
Let them all in.
meeting room?
Fine.
Moen?
Public meeting, yeah, we can let them all.
Everybody's in. Good morning, everyone. We're just about
Morning.
the Metal Products of Western New York LLC resolution. Jean Gowan, thank you for joining us today. Oh, and Joe Scholl, I see.
Joe,
you.
yeah, Joe's here also. Yes.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you. I'll provide some high level remarks and then I'll turn it over to you, okay?
It's fine.
Okay, thank you. Dunkirk Metal Products of WNY LLC, located at 3575 Chadwick Drive in the Chadwick Bay Industrial Park, town of Sheridan, is requesting $280,000 equipment financing for the purchase of new equipment and associated accessories. The equipment is a tube laser cutting system, and the total project budget is $700,000. The company ownership has assessed the local marketplace and found this new equipment will provide an excellent opportunity for cost savings and business growth, indicating that establishing and growing this segment of business will be a primary focus over the next 3 years and beyond. The request is for $280,000 equipment loan at 4% APR for a term of 10 years with principal and interest payments made monthly. The company currently has 36 employees, 32 of which are direct employees and 4 temporary employees. They project 2 new jobs as a result of the project. As mentioned, Jean Gowan, a company partner, and Joe Scholl are joining us today via video conference. I will now ask Jean and Joe to provide a brief overview of the company, description of the equipment, and their upcoming project.
Thank you for the introduction, Christine. Appreciate all your hard work to help us get to this point. And thank you, Board of Directors, for considering our project and the financing that goes along with it. Joe and another partner, Jerry Williams, and I acquired the company Dunkirk Metal. It's an existing operation. We acquired it in 2012. And the company has a history going back to the 40s. So what interested us primarily, there was a long-standing awareness and essentially goodwill connected with the company, and needed some support, some financial support to get stabilized. And we did that in 2012, and it's been we're very happy with the run that we've had since then. We've had an ongoing process of investing in the company and in the local area. We've continued to hire employees from the local workforce. Many of our employees are long established, well-trained employees. And we continue to look for areas of growth. This project is the laser tube cutting equipment, kind of puts us in the next step in our arena of developing metal fabrication. We currently have 2 laser cutters. We have bending machines, a number of stamping machines, and a full-blown welding operation. So this is the next step. We believe it's an emerging market. There seems to be a fair amount of demand because of the efficiency and the cost effectiveness of tube cutting. And from our assessment here in the southern tier of New York State, there doesn't seem to be a tremendous amount of capacity. So we think it's a good fit. And we already have opportunities, even in our existing customer base, looking for this. And in cases where we needed tube glazing, we've had to outsource it. So we have opportunities immediately, and we're anticipating growth from this investment. So, we're very happy to be in Jerry and I are from the Buffalo area. Joe is in Gowanda. Of course, most of our employees are in the southern tier. And so we've been very happy with the operation. The CCIDA has been a partner from the beginning and helping us get established. We had a couple of locations when we acquired the company, and it was apparent that we could achieve some efficiencies by combining the location. And after a lot of searching, Rich and Christine helped us, and eventually we got to the point where we found the building that the IDA, in fact, had available itself. And we went in there not thinking we would need the entire space immediately, but Joe managed to fill up pretty quickly. So we occupy the entire 40,000 square feet. It's worked out very well. It's a great location, and we have I think about 8 acres. The property's on 8 acres, so we have room to expand should the need arise. So it's been good, and we just want to continue along the same track. We don't want to sit on our hands, sit still. We want to look for opportunities where it makes sense for us to grow, and we think this is a good next step.
Hey, Gene, in Joe's defense, it took him a week to fill it up, so I
Right.
it wasn't like he rushed into it.
Yeah, it
Week
didn't
and a
take
half.
him long, that's for sure. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that excellent overview, Jean. Other financing in the amount of $350,000 from Cattaraugus County Bank is anticipated, and the company will provide $70,000 equivalent to a 10% cash equity injection. The loan committee met on May 9th, 2024 to review the loan request and recommended the project as presented to the CCIDA Board of Directors. The application, additional exhibits, and loan committee minutes were provided with today's meeting agenda in your files. Mr. Chairman, would you like me to review the resolution, or do you want to ask the board if they'd like to make a motion before I go through the
If
resolution?
you could just give us a quick resolution and then we'll just.
Okay. So the resolution being presented today is a resolution authorizing an LTAC revolving loan fund, EDA CARES Act fund, and/or CRLF loan, Dunkirk Metal Products of WNY LLC in the amount of $280,000. The loan request, again, in the amount of $280,000. Loan terms are $280,000, machinery and equipment financing for 10 years at 4% interest, with principal and interest payments made monthly. The loan shall be secured by 1, a subordinate lien position assignment behind the bank on financed equipment, LVD strip it TL 2665 FL 2 blazer cutting system and associated accessories. And 2, the unlimited personal guarantees provided by Jerome Williams, Jean Gollin, and Joseph Scholl. He-Man Life Insurance would be waived. The company shall maintain fire and hazard insurance on all company assets with CCIDA listed as assignee and loss payee in the amount equal to the outstanding indebtedness to CCIDA at all times over the course of the loan, and commitment and financing documents of other lenders should be satisfactory to the CCIDA.
Thank you. Brad, would you move new business 82 for us?
Resolution 052124 1, of the members of the Chautauqua County, members of the County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency to approve an AL Tech CARES Act and or CRLF loan, Dunkirk Metal Products, Western New York LLC.
Thank you. And do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Sagan. And before we vote, I would like to report that Dan Hetzenrader has joined the meeting, and so thank you. And so he'll be voting on this as well. Jerry Henry votes aye. Brad Walters.
Aye.
Dan Hetzenrader.
Aye.
Sagan Sheffield Smith.
Aye.
Stephen Thorpe.
Aye.
Dan Demart.
Aye.
Amy Harding.
Aye.
And so the resolution has been unanimously approved. We certainly would like to thank you guys, Gene and Joe, for your investment in Chautauqua County. It's encouraging to see, you know, how the IDA has been able to help in the past, and you continue to grow, continue to employ more people, and so we wish you the best.
Thank you very much. And again, thank you for your support. It's been very helpful. Thanks again.
Awesome.
Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
I don't know if there's any extras.
We'll go ahead and move into new business B, Reagan Development LLC, again, presented by Christine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next on your meeting agenda is a due diligence resolution and preliminary agreement for the Reagan Development LLC affordable housing projects with locations at 160-164 East 4th Street and 208-214 and 220 Washington Avenue in the city of Dunkirk. Yesterday, there was some very exciting news about this project when Governor Kathy Hochul was in Dunkirk and announced this project is a $500,000 DRI recipient. Handouts of the concept plans for these two projects are being passed out presently and were provided in your meeting packet. Jeanette, could you please share on your screen? You have the concept plans?
I'm gonna try to, but I'm not sure if I can.
Okay, if we can't, that's okay. We can work around it. But if you have the 4th Street concept plan and also the Washington Avenue concept plan, we'll just show those briefly. Yes, I'm sorry. So today, and while Jeanette's pulling those up, I'll continue. Representatives Larry Reagan and Dave Reagan of Reagan Development Corporation are with us today to discuss an update to their project. CCIDA previously approved a diligence resolution and preliminary agreement on January 23rd, 2024. With new information available, we'd like to update the project description today in these documents before we commence with next steps in our due diligence process. Do you have a copy for me? I'm sorry. Sure. I should have kept one. The new due diligence resolution and preliminary agreement would replace those that you previously approved on January 23rd. So Jeanette, if you could just pull those up real quick. I think I saw something.
Yeah, I did, but
Did it go away?
Yeah.
wait a second. No,
was there.
over here.
No,
Right. Oh, it's on.
I'll try one more time
All
here.
right. But if you want everybody to see it.
Okay, so to our attendees, can you see the concept plan on your screen?
Okay.
Even Larry, can you see it or not?
No, we don't have the benefit of it having it on up.
Now we can.
Can we see it now? Okay, so I just wanted to pull this one up first, and then in a couple minutes I'll have Jeanette switch to the other one. Thank you, both of you, Larry and Gabe, for joining us by video conference today. Could you please provide us with an update regarding the change to the 4th Street project concept plan? And again, in front of you is the Washington Ave concept plan, and also just a general project update since our last meeting together.
Sure.
Anytime you can switch to the other one. This is the Washington Avenue, and in a moment she'll switch to the 4th Street plan that has the change.
Great. So we'd be happy to provide you with a general update on both sites. Everything is moving forward, scheduled as planned. We have planning board approvals for both sites, the 4th Street site and the Washington Ave site. We were required to go back to the the planning and zoning boards on the site that I think is coming up now, up the other site. I don't know if you want to put up the other. This site, we didn't have to go back to the boards on Washington Ave and Second, and everything was approved and ready to proceed. The 4th Avenue site, the 4th Street site, the adjoining neighbors, Hunt Properties, who own this shopping center next to us on one side that we have a reciprocal parking agreement with. You can see all the parking at the front end of this site. So, and the Chautauqua Center is our neighbor to the left of the building, the proposed site that you see on the screen. Both neighbors we coordinated with and successfully worked with their needs, both for parking and ingress and egress. This is a challenging site because the existing owner had entered into cross easements and reciprocal parking agreements for both of the properties. With the knowledge of the city, and I must say, Vince DeJoy and his planning and zoning staff, Glenn, and the whole administration in the city of Dunkirk has been very cooperative in coordinating us with these adjacent owners. We're very pleased to say that we've successfully coordinated, and the adjoining owners are happy with our revised design. If you recall our previous design, it was very different than what this building is. So we had to get creative to allow the Hunt companies that own the shopping center to keep their existing parking and provide them with a layout that they were comfortable with, and also the Chautauqua Center to provide the necessary parking and egress for their employees and for their visitors and people that they're serving. So everything that I've described has been presented to the planning and zoning boards. Everything has been approved at the City of Dunkirk planning and zoning boards. We're preparing our application when the window opens at HCR for funding. It's all very positive. We're working with the DEC on the brownfields application. So one site has been accepted. The other site is moving forward towards acceptance. So we're very confident with that. And timing for the project would be when HCR opens their funding window, we would apply sometime in end of August, early September. We would hope that this project gets funded in the first time in, which would probably be around December to January. And we would hope for a construction start sometime around late spring, early summer of 25, with it both sites being built concurrently with a 14-month construction period. So that would be our timing, and we're very organized, and we're thankful to have the support of the city, of Kathy Hochul and her administration, and we're hopeful that this project is funded at HCR. And we're grateful for everybody on the DRI committee and everybody in Chautauqua County for assisting in the $500,000 DRI funding award that this project got. It shows the importance, and we're happy to serve as tools for local development as well as county. So thank you all.
Thank you for an excellent update and overview. And also thank you for your due diligence with the redesign at the neighbors' requests. Next, I'd like to ask Millen to review the resolutions and explain the representation of them.
As Christine mentioned, this board passed the preliminary due diligence resolution back in January. Fortunately, we did not progress the due diligence because we knew that this design was at least in the offing. So we didn't really lose any time or spend any extra, money, et cetera. So instead of amending the old resolution, since we really hadn't progressed it any, my thought is let's just start all over. This is a brand new due diligence resolution. And now that the design looks to be sort of set in stone, we will move forward with the typical due diligence, looking at seeker, holding a public hearing, et cetera. And that's what this resolution authorizes. So when and if we finish all the due diligence, we would come back to the board for a secret resolution and final approving resolution. And that will be sometime in the next couple of months. So you've seen this project before. It's a little bit changed, but it's basically the same. And this just sort of starts us all over again doing the due diligence.
Thank you.
Are there any questions from the board? Hearing none, Dan Hetzenrader, would you move new business B2 for us?
Absolutely. Resolution 05-21-24-2 due diligence resolution and preliminary agreement Reagan Development LLC.
Thank you. And do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dan. Do a roll call vote. Gary Henry votes aye. Brad Walters.
Aye.
Dan Hetzenrader.
Aye.
Sagan Sheffield Smith.
Aye.
Stephen Thorpe. Dan Demart.
Aye.
Amy Harding.
Aye.
The resolution is unanimously approved, and we look forward to continuing along the path of this project. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Next, we'll move into new business C, Lakeside Capital Corporation doing business in Dahlstrom Roll Form, presented by Carol.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Lakeside Capital Corporation, DBA Dahlstrom. Robert White is the owner of the company. He bought it in about 2006 from Carolyn French. It was moved from a Crescent Street location to 221 Lister Avenue in Falconer, New York. Now Rob has decided that he would like to retire. And so I have before you today a recommendation by the CCIDA Loan Review Committee. There was a meeting held on May 9th. And it's a recommendation to approve a $900,000 LTEC EDA CARES Act or CLF loan. The applicants were present. That's Bradley Renwick, and Jeremy Blum were present at the Loan Review Committee, and also CCB, Cattaraugus County Bank, who is partnering on this loan. Steve Swanson was there to represent Cat County Bank and very much in favor of the loan. So Lakeside Capital Corporation, LLC, DBA, Dahlstrom Roll Form. They're a manufacturer of custom linear shapes. They're formed from different metals. Their markets include HVAC, refrigerations, storage, commercial construction, elevators, escalators, cars. Rob has made this a very successful company. So now that he's currently looking at retirement, he was looking for a buyer for the business. Now, this was on the open market, I'd like to say. So there have been offers from private equity firms, and Rob, and I'm sure you can agree, this leaves the company very vulnerable to be uprooted and to leave Chautauqua County and or New York State. There was one serious offer from a company in Germany that has a history of purchasing this type of industry and moving it west to Kentucky. So not west, but to Kentucky. So Rob wanted the company to continue operations in Chautauqua County. He's very fond of Chautauqua County, and there's 43 people who are employed there. It will retain 43 people. They've started a second shift. The company is flowing, very successful. So the applicants, Jeremy Bloom, he's the Chief Executive Officer at Dahlstrom Roll Form. And Brad Renwick is the Chief Operations Officer there. They decided that they would like to purchase the company. And then, of course, this guarantees that the company will not relocate. And the 43 jobs will be saved. Jeremy and Brad have worked in their current positions for 7 years. They've really been controlling all the operations in the last few years. The experience, of course, is there, and the flow of work goes and there's still a profit. So a little bit about the structure. It is a stock purchase by Bradley Renwick and Jeremy Bloom. The total project is $9,018,750. The purchase prices of the building is $8.4 million. So there's a little bit of working capital in there. This is for the equipment, the assets only, the stock purchase, not the building. They do in the future intend to purchase the building. Probably maybe in 2031 actually is when they're planning to purchase the building. Let's see, the CCB, we have a commitment letter from CCB for $2.4 million. The request from the IDA is $900,000. Now Rob will hold a note for $2,681,250. And then the equity is about $150,000 in cash. And added to that equity, is besides a note from Rob, there's a balloon payment of $2,887,500,000. And that'll take place in 5 years after the note is paid off from Rob. So that's listed in the equity on the sources and uses. Now, Rob is going to maintain 25% of the stock until that balloon payment is made. Then Jeremy and Brad will each be 50 instead of the 37.5 they are right now. Let's see, they currently have, there is currently an IDA loan, which they will assume. Their their projections and their cash flow seem to work. Their net income is in 2023 was over 2 million. Their debt ratio projections go from 1.5 to 2.4 for 8 years down the road. So they're very solid. And of course, Jeremy and Brad, are losing it now and it's been there for 7 years, so it should continue to be successful. So let's break it down a little more. Let's see, before you is $900,000 Altex PRLF EDA CARES Act funding. The loan term is for 8 years, and that's continuous with the bank or parallel with the bank loan. We have 4% for 8 years, 900,000. You'll notice in the resolution, there will be a whereas it says the business was in danger of imminent closure by probable sale to non-local competition, which I explained, in the beginning. So the collateral on the loan will be secured by second position UCC filing behind the lending institution to include all business assets, but not limited to furniture, fixtures, machinery, equipment, including the future equipment, inventory, and accounts receivable. There's an unlimited personal guarantee provided by Bradley Renwick and Jeremy Bloom, and Keyman Life Insurance in the amount of the loan provided by Bradley Renwick and Jeremy Bloom. Since Rob White continues with 25% of the ownership for a while, it's appropriate to waive the personal guarantee and Keyman Life Insurance for Rob White, which is part of the resolution also. I guess, are there any questions about this? They were all present at loan review committee, but let's see, yeah, I think I did the stock purchase structure. Rob, I told you we'll hold that note for approximately 2.6 million. And I talked about the equity and the future balloon payment of $2,887,500, which will give them total 100% of the loan. So any questions on that?
Okay, hearing no questions. Sagan, would you move new business C1 for us?
Sure. Resolution 05-21-24-03 of the members of the County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency to approve an Altech EDA CARES Act and/or CRLF loan to Lakeland Capital Corporation, DBA Rostrum Roll Form.
Thank you. And do we have a second? Thank you, Steve. We'll do a roll call vote. Gary Henry votes aye. Brad Walters.
Aye.
Dan Hetzenrader.
Aye.
Sagan Sheffield Smith.
Aye.
Stephen Thorpe.
Aye.
Dan Demart.
Aye.
Amy Harding.
Aye.
Thank you. The resolution is unanimously approved, and certainly this is a exciting project to keep this business here in Chautauqua County. A very strong balance sheet, good jobs, and so we're glad to be part of that. I see PJ Wendell has joined us. Did you have anything you wanted to share with us this morning?
Apologize for being late. I had another event that ran a little bit over. But
We appreciate you being here.
thank you.
We'll go ahead and move into a new business D, Martin, New York, CSG LLC, presented by Rosie and Millen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Back in January of 2023, the board gave final approval on a deviation resolution, a seeker resolution, and a final approving resolution for this project. As a refresher, this is a 5 megawatt AC solar farm located on approximately 29.5 acres in the town of Ripley, 5246 Route 76. Project cost has not changed. It's still 10.4 million. The only difference from the previous approval was there is an increase in sales tax, the sales tax request of $99,999. So less than $100,000. So it does not trigger a new public hearing request. I will have Millen explain the resolution being presented, but if there's any questions in regards to the amendment, I'd be happy to answer them.
This resolution just authorizes additional financial assistance. Again, as Rosie pointed out, the initial amount that the company calculated they would need by way of a sales tax exemption was $100,000. They've now calculated that it's more than that. As Rosie points out, if it's $100,000 or more, we need a public hearing and a board resolution. They are ready to close quickly, so they didn't want to have the time it takes for a public hearing. So just a board resolution because they're asking for another $99,000 to go from 100 to 199. And that's what this is. Otherwise, they say they're ready to go.
Great. Any questions from the board? Hearing none. Steve, would you move new business D1 for us?
Sure. Resolution 05-21-24-04, 2024 additional financial assistance approving resolution, Martin, New York, CSG LLC.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dan. We'll do a roll call vote. Gary Henry votes aye. Brad Walters.
Aye.
Dan Hetzenrader.
Aye.
Sagan Sheffield Smith.
Aye.
Stephen Thorpe.
Aye.
Daniel Demart.
Aye.
Amy Harding.
Aye.
And the resolution has been unanimously approved. We'll now move into new business E, Beacon Industrial Park Shovel Ready Program presented by Mark.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this resolution will approve up to $90,000, which is half the cost of bringing the 66 acres that the IDA owns in Mason Industrial Park up to shovel-ready status, minus the extension of the gas. We bought that property from Bush in 2016. There's about 33 acres of it or so that's developable. We did some of the due diligence, the environmental due diligence, between 2016 and 2018. We didn't do all of it. We took another look at it. We contracted with Clark Patterson Lee, I want to say in December, January timeline. And they did an assessment of what needs to be done to bring that up to shovel-ready status. things like the seeker, the archaeological survey, threatened and endangered species, wetland delineation, a traffic study, et cetera. Again, that's the cost of that will be between 150 and 180,000. So this resolution would approve half that, up to $90,000 to be spent on bringing that up. And the county, and we're going to be, the legislature is going to be considering a resolution in June for the other half. So it's pretty straightforward. As you know, we're all about making sites shovel ready. We own that parcel. We need to do a little bit more to get it there, and this will get us there.
Any questions from the board? Dan DeMart, can you move new business E1 for us?
Yes, move to approve resolution 05-21-24-05. Further due diligence resolution, Mason Industrial.
Thank you. And do we have a second?
Second.
Again? We'll go ahead and do a roll call vote. Gary Henry votes aye. Brad Walters.
Aye.
Dan Hetzenrader.
Aye.
Megan Sheffield Smith.
Aye.
Stephen Thorpe. Dan DeMart.
Aye.
Amy Harding.
Aye.
And the resolution is unanimously approved. We know how important it is to have these sites ready. So if a business is looking to expand or to move to our area, they can go at a moment's notice. So certainly a good step in that direction. Do you have an executive director's report for us?
Yeah, and I'll be quick. There's just so much going on. I almost don't know what to talk about, to be honest with you. And I don't want to take too much time, but I'm going to hit on a couple of sort of highlights, if you will. First of all, I want to congratulate Dunkirk and the $9.7 million DRI award. They worked hard. We worked hard. Our team at the Department of Planning and Development and IDA are intimately involved in a lot of these projects. Just to give you an idea, we already talked about the Regan development, which is affordable housing apartments, but we're also involved in the Macaroni Company building, which got a $500,000 award. The Lakeshore National Bank building, a $900,000 award. We're working on that. The marina sites, both the east and the west marina sites, the east side got 2 million and the west side got 1 million. So we're actively involved in that as well. So, I just wanted to, I started my career out of graduate school from UB in planning in 1991 as the development director in the city of Dunkirk. So for me, over 30 years ago, that's crazy. For me, it's there's more than just, this is great for Dunkirk. I mean, I have some personal attachment to it. So congratulations. I'm going to bang these off real quick. The White Inn, making great progress. They're looking at potentially a September opening. We'll see if they can reach that, but there's just a lot going on there. I stop in there once in a while and they're going crazy. Hideaway Bay, again, they're banging it out. They're going to have a ribbon cutting on June 11th. So we'll be there. That's very exciting. Electrovia, there was just a recent press release out about their Mississauga facility in Canada had a couple of really good quarters. They're doing really well. He said, yes, we're still on with the Ellicott facility, and they're looking at a mid-2025 opening. So we'll see if they can reach that. But it's taken longer than we wanted, but that's still plugging away. The Lenhart, that's tied up in lawsuits. You all know about that. We'll see what happens there. Wells, I know that there's a groundbreaking coming up in June. So they're making progress. They got the water line relocated. They're banging away at that. We toured Cummins Engine, Rich and I, last week, and the new engine line, the $452 million, which isn't just for that engine line. They had to do a whole bunch of infrastructure upgrades, especially with electricity, moving stuff around. They're always like, okay, we're putting this in. we've got to move this to make room for that. And so it's amazing what's going on there with all the work that's going on at Cummins. So that's really exciting. Immunity Bio, that's really exciting because they got their FDA approval for our Antiva drug, which is a bladder cancer drug. And we're meeting with them in June, early June here. We reached out and said, hey, we want to talk about what impact that's going to have on the Dunkirk facility, because apparently they're going to manufacture the drug in California at their facility there, but then they're going to ship it here and it's all going to be packaged out of here. So we want to, really sit down with them and really figure out what's that mean. What do you need from us? How can we assist? And they've been great to work with. The Ripley shovel-ready site is we're banging away at, not only getting that first phase 1, 65 acres, going, but also the phase 2, the 85 acres. We've got congressional spending request, ARC Power, IIJA, Infrastructure Improvement and Jobs Act funding, EDA, and I'm probably missing one, but grant requests in. So because we have about 13 of the 17 million we need, and we're confident if we get all of those, we've got everything we need. And if we don't get all of them, we still may be okay. We can always scale the project back. So we're making progress there. I think that's all I have for now, unless I forgot something. Anybody? Any questions?
Just an FYI, Cummins' 50th anniversary is going to be July 20th. I didn't see it signed today. I had a meeting with Sean Rico a couple of weeks ago asking, I said, 50 years ago, you came here to make a footprint. What can we do to increase that footprint? And what they've done is internally, they've actually done a lot to increase productivity. They could be, the potential for them is to produce 700 engines a day, which is phenomenal. And they have a large market share and potentially could end up with more should things go their way. So really exciting about, Cummins. I keep saying that they're one of many, SKF and other industries in this county, but, a lot of productivity and a lot of good things happening.
Well, what else we're seeing because of that increased capacity and the need for storage, we're seeing action on some buildings around the county for the purpose of storing either inventory or final product, so it's really had a secondary effect on the county as well.
Very good. Thank you. Rich, did you have a treasurer's report for us?
I do. You have in front of you the IDA and programs balance sheet as of 4/30/24, and just a few things I'd like to point out today. Start with the IDA column. You'll see our cash and cash equivalent almost 4 million. Down under deferred revenue, you'll see 2.6. We have money, the IDA was already received for a broadband project, and that majority of that money is for the broadband, so it's there, but the progress is underway and some expenditures have been made. Next, we'll take a look at the Northern Chautauqua Industrial. The two sources of funds that we have received so far were county capital projects and ARPA money. So if you look down at land held for resale, that's 2,047,176. That is property we've currently purchased. And if you look down at our total equity there, you'll see that that matches exactly. As we pay for consultants and other expenses for that project, we recognize the revenue and we recognize the expense. So it doesn't show up. The only asset really there is the land, which we will never depreciate and it will always be on our book. So that's moving along nicely. Everything else seems to be in good shape. We've adjusted our bad debt reserve according to our CPA's recommendation. As you can see, we have quite a bit in there, and that's 20% is what they had recommended, and that's what we did. We'll talk a little bit about that in executive session, but that's all on the balance sheet. Turning to the statement of revenue and expense. I have expense, all of the bad debt expense is under the EDA CARES. That's definitely our more risky loan fund. We made a lot of loans out with no bank involved, no owner equity. The collateral really wasn't all that good. So for now, I'm just expensing that all under the CARES Act. At the end of the year, we'll take a look and see if we need to shift that around between funds. But for now, it's under the CARES, but that is a non-cash expense, so even that fund is cash flow positive. Turning to the revenue and expense. And we will be redoing this budget for July, at the July board meeting to represent the second half of the year. As you know, we passed this in October. A lot of things have changed. Number one being the application and administrative fees. As you can see, we're way ahead of the game there, and I project that will end the year way ahead, so we're going to be changing that. But along with that comes some additional of expense. If we take a look at the payroll and benefits, you'll see we're $78,000 over budget at this point. A lot of that has to do with the allocation and the time studies that we do for the staff that's not directly expensed to Critic. We haven't spent as much time on Critic. We've been very busy with IDA things here. But I expect that to flatten out as we end through the year. And it's when Kayla gives her report, you'll see she's 78,000 at a positive with Critic. So it's all good, just timing. Under the professional fees, we're a little bit over. We've had some industrial park expense in there already. We've had some web page expense in there, and we've had some legal fees that we finalized for the ABO and stuff. So that's a little over there, but we'll be adjusting that. You'll notice under grant expense, the 65,930, there's a marketing and business assistance program that we also have the revenue for up top. So that was an unbudgeted item, but we will include that in the June budget. So all in all, I think we're off to another good year. And it's great to have these funds available to get these parks ready. The county is our partner. I do think so. I think we're in real good shape. That's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Any questions on the treasurer's report? Do we have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved.
Thank you. And do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The treasurer's report has been accepted. At this point, I would entertain a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing the financial or credit history of a particular person or corporation. In particular, I would like to discuss the status of our loan portfolio and the financial and credit status of borrowers, as well as some CCIDA personnel. I believe that discussing this in open session would substantially affect the value. Do I hear such a motion? Thank you, Sagan. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.